Hello everyone, welcome to Super Kalam. I am your teacher and mentor Arpita Sharma, and this is going to be a super engaging, super interesting session. This is going to be a complete economy marathon for your prelims 2025. Even if you're preparing for 2026 or 27, this class is going to be the one-stop solution for Indian economy. अगर आपको लगता है आप थोड़े से कमजोर हो इकोनॉमी में या थोड़ा सा टेक्निकल पार्ट आपको समझ नहीं आता, टेंशन मत लो. By the end of this session, I will make sure that economy becomes your favorite subject. So we are going to start with Indian economy marathon, and this session is going to be really serious. Why? Because we are going to cover Indian economy from both prelims and mains perspective. What are we going to cover in this session? I expect that all of you will make notes with me in the class itself, क्योंकि हम क्लास में लाइव नोट्स बनाने वाले हैं, तो मेरे साथ साथ नोट्स बनाते जाएंगे, तो it would be really good. We are going to cover basic concepts plus GDP, inflation, banking. We are going to cover fiscal policy, budget, and deficits because we have already covered budget and economic survey in a lot of classes, and that is why we are going to pick up key terms and schemes from budget. We are going to cover agriculture, industry, unemployment, external sector, balance of payment, forex, मेंस के कुछ टॉपिक्स डिस्कस करेंगे, पीवाईक्यू का डिस्कशन और क्लास में क्विज भी रहेगा, एंड वी आर गोइंग टू recap it all. Important graphs भी पढ़ेंगे, we are going to also interpret those graphs, etc. So make sure that you are watching this session with utmost discipline. All right, let's get started. So this is going to be the index. Part 1 में हम क्या क्या टॉपिक्स पढ़ने वाले हैं क्लास का, उसके बाद थोड़ा सा ब्रेक लेंगे. वी विल टेक अ quick break after part 1 and we are going to cover part 2 then, and then part 3 आ जाता है जो totally mains को target करेगा. The notes will be shared on our Telegram community, but I want all of you to make your own notes as well. खुद के notes भी बनाने हैं, ठीक है? If you are watching this class later on and you do not have time to make notes, don't worry, it will be shared on Telegram community. The link is given in the description box. So we are starting with part 1. Part 1 of the class, we are going to focus more on static and conceptual base. Because in Indian economy, the conceptual base, if it is strong, then you can, trust me, score 95% plus in Indian economy, because 5% current affairs का भी हो जाता है खेल. But if concept is strong, then it is going to be really nice solving questions on Indian economy, and we are picking up those core topics from Indian economy on which PYQs have been repeated. Previous year questions में repetition देखी गई है. For example, basic terms we are going to study GDP, GNP, NDP, NNP. Every year there is a question. तो ये मान लो ये this topic basically is 8 plus marks that we are going to prepare. Then national income accounting, 2 number आप यहाँ से expect कर सकते हो. We are going to study the methods and the limitations. Then inflation, every year you pick up any PYQ, मेरे पास इतने सारे previous year questions हैं, and every year I have seen 4 plus marks ले लो, 4 to 8 marks directly coming from inflation every year. हर साल एक question तो आएगा ही आएगा, 2 number तो कहीं भी नहीं जा रहे हैं. We are going to study monetary policy, again UPSC is favorite, यहाँ से 8 number आप expect कर सकते हो. Fiscal policy, again UPSC is favorite, and budget. So these are the foundational concepts that we are going to study. Let's start with GDP, GNP, NDP and NNP. देखो, when we talk about GDP, सबसे पहले इन दोनों टॉपिक्स को अच्छे से पढ़ते हैं with simple examples. So make sure that you have your registers with you. We are making notes in the class, okay? देखो, जब हम GDP की बात करते हैं, basically it is known as the gross domestic product. यही बोलते हैं इसको, gross domestic product. What exactly is a gross domestic product? It is basically the total value, write it down, the total value of all the goods and these services. So इसमें goods and services both are included, and all is the keyword over here. All the goods and services which are produced within a country. अब एक और keyword यहाँ पर आ जाता है, that keyword is known as within the country in a given period of time. So a time period is also given period or of time or given time period. Usually it is considered as 1 year. Okay. No matter who produces it. अब ये एक और कीवर्ड हो जाता है यहाँ पर. Irrespective of who produces that good or service, if all the goods and services, their value is taken into consideration within a country in a given period of time, that value is known as gross domestic product. For example, if let's say there is a German car company, write down the example later on to differentiate between GDP and GNP. These examples are going to be very fruitful. There is a German car company, एंड इट मेक्स कार्स इन इंडिया, भारत में कार बना रही है वो कंपनी, तो इट विल बी काउंटेड इन इंडियाज जीडीपी वाई, बिकॉज अ प्रोडक्शन हैपेंड विद इन इंडिया, दैट इज वाई, प्रोडक्शन इंडिया में ही हुआ है, इसीलिए इसको इंडिया के जीडीपी में काउंट किया जाएगा, irrespective of the fact that it is being produced by the German car company. Okay, now coming on to GNP. अब GNP समझते हैं. What is GNP? It is basically gross national product. Gross national product माना जाता है इसको. ठीक है, it is domestic, it is national. One point of differentiation. Now, what is the meaning of this particular GNP? तो इसको हम एक अलग इंक से लिख लेते हैं so that we can differentiate between both the topics. It is the total value of TV, means total value of all the goods and services produced by a country's citizens and companies, no matter where they are in the world. Differentiation समझ आ रहा है? Are you understanding the differentiation? No matter where they are in the world. Now there is no confinement within a country. कहीं पर भी हो, अगर टोटल वैल्यू ऑफ गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज, वो गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज जो कि कंट्री के सिटीजन या कंपनीज प्रोड्यूस कर रही हैं, चाहे वो कहीं पर भी हो दुनिया में. अब इसका एक बहुत अच्छा एग्जांपल देती हूँ. फॉर एग्जांपल, देयर इज एन इंडियन कंपनी which runs a hotel in Dubai. So that income will be a part of India's GNP because it is earned by an Indian entity. Okay, even though the hotel is in Dubai, but the Indian entity is generating that revenue na, so that will be a part of India's GNP. समझ आ गया? चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं. तो अगर हम इन दोनों को समराइज करें, ठीक है, यहाँ पर ऐसा करते हैं, एनडीपी एनएनपी को हटा के समराइजेशन करते हैं. वी आर गोइंग टू समराइज दीज टू. सो व्हाट कैन बी द समराइजेशन ऑफ दीज टू? राइट इट डाउन. जीडीपी इक्वल्स ऑल द प्रोडक्शन inside India, and here the foreigners are included. And what is GNP? All the production by Indians inside or outside India, that is GNP. ठीक है, easy हो गया समझना GDP and GNP का concept. Now it becomes easy. Now you can solve any question on GDP and GNP because you have understood the key differentiation. यहाँ पर आपने key differentiation समझ लिया है. Now let's move to NDP and NNP. So far we have completed GDP and we have completed GNP. हम ऐसे ना टिक लगाते जाएंगे after every concept. Now let's start with NDP and NNP. Net domestic product and net national product. When we talk about NDP, net domestic product, basically what is it? It is, write it down, GDP minus depreciation. Depreciation क्या होता है? Depreciation is the wear and tear of machines, buildings over a period of time when you utilize a particular machine, right? तो उसमें कुछ ना कुछ wear and tear तो होता है ना, उसके वैल्यू भी घटती है, then उसके कुछ पार्ट्स भी खराब होते होंगे. For example, over a period of time, for example, let's say you purchased a mobile phone for 50,000. After 2 years or after 1.5 years, the price will reduce because you have started utilizing it, right? तो उसकी वैल्यू वगैरह ड्रॉप होगा, फिजिकली भी प्रोडक्ट में wear and tear आएगा, that is depreciation. So if you deduct, that is why I first explained the concept of GDP and GNP, because from here only we can derive NDP and NNP. So from the GDP, if you subtract the depreciation, you will be left with NDP. तब आपके पास NDP बचेगा. So basically what you will write, आप क्या लिखेंगे इसके अंदर, that the NDP, that is net domestic product, gross domestic product minus depreciation. And here I am going to help you understand with an example. Let's say India produces, write it down, India produces goods worth rupees 100 lakh. Now this would be the GDP, इसको हम GDP मान के चलेंगे. But rupees 10 lakh worth of machines wore out means depreciate हो गई, the value depreciated. So here NDP would be equal to 100 lakhs minus 10 lakhs equals 90 lakhs. ठीक है, 90 lakhs, दैट वुड बी द एनडीपी, नेट डोमेस्टिक प्रोडक्ट, नेट पे आ रहे हैं हम इसके अंदर. नाउ लेट्स गो टू एनएनपी. अब एनएनपी का कॉन्सेप्ट विल बी associated with GNP's concept. So what will be NNP? I'll change the ink over here. Yes. तो नेट नेशनल प्रोडक्ट क्या होता है? जब आप GNP से डेप्रिसिएशन माइनस कर देते हो, you remove depreciation from GNP. So here, with an example, how can we understand? If India's GNP is, let's say, rupees 150 lakh, and let's say depreciation equals rupees 10 lakh, तो एनएनपी क्या होगा? एनएनपी वुड बी रुपीज 140 lakhs. दैट इज एनएनपी, उसको हम एनएनपी बोलते हैं. तो इन शॉर्ट, इफ वी हैव टू समराइज, जीडीपी इज टोटल प्रोडक्शन इनसाइड द कंट्री. यहां पर वर्ड लिख लो, इनसाइड द कंट्री. दैट मीन्स इट इज रिफ्लेक्टिंग व्हाट? क्या रिफ्लेक्ट कर रहा है जीडीपी? टोटल आउटपुट को रिफ्लेक्ट कर रहा है. इट इज रिफ्लेक्टिंग टोटल आउटपुट. प्लीज राइट इट डाउन. These kind of tricky questions have been asked in prelims. What is GNP? GNP is production by nationals anywhere, not just inside, anywhere. But it should be produced by the nationals. So here, the GNP basically reflects ownership based output. Okay. Then we go to NDP. NDP क्या है? It is derived from GDP only. बस depreciation को less कर दिया है, minus depreciation. So what is it showing? Net domestic output. जितना भी net output निकला है, but in domestic parlance. And NNP again, GNP से depreciation गया, तो it is showing net national output. That is the core concept of NDP and NNP. तो यहाँ तक सबको clarity मिल गई. Have you all understood the concepts? 4 concepts, बहुत ही easy है, but because we tend to ratify and memorize, cram the definitions, we tend to forget about the basic differentiation, basic reflection of these definitions. So we have studied GDP, GNP, NDP, NNP. Now let's study NNP at market price and factor cost. These are 2 trickiest parts of the definition of NNP. So when we talk about NNP, there are 2 kinds, at market price and at factor cost. NNP at market price क्या होता है? Market price means the actual monetary value of goods and services which are produced by Indian citizens. This is very important, whether in India or abroad. ये भी बहुत important है, चाहे अब्रॉड में बनाया हो चाहे इंडिया में बनाया हो, बट जो एक्चुअल मॉनेटरी वैल्यू है गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज की, प्रोड्यूस्ड बाय एक्चुअल इंडियन सिटीजंस, दैट इज एनएनपी एट मार्केट प्राइस. बट few things have to be included and excluded here. Indirect taxes, we are going to include it, and we are going to exclude the subsidies. These are the 2 things which are included and excluded. What we are going to include? Indirect tax. What are we going to exclude? The subsidies we are going to exclude. So if we have to make a formula for NNP at market price, what would it be? Formula बहुत simple होगा. NNP at the market price equals GNP minus depreciation. GNP माइनस डेप्रिसिएशन. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, मान लो GNP जो है वो 200 लाख है एंड डेप्रिसिएशन इज लेट्स से 20 लाख. व्हाट विल बी द NNP? 180 लाख. 180 लाख का अपना NNP हो जाएगा. ये पॉइंट आपको याद रखना है. सो इफ indirect taxes or subsidies are given in the question, you know what to include, subtract and what to add. ठीक है, पॉइंट क्लियर हो गया यहाँ तक. नाउ लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड NNP at factor cost. So when we talk about NNP at factor cost, again understand that it is the income which is earned by factors of production. And in school we have studied what are the factors of production. क्या होता है? Capital, entrepreneurship, land, labor. These are the 4 factors of production. So whatever income is earned by these factors of production is NNP at factor cost, but it should be owned by Indian nationals. Indian nationals, excluding indirect tax and including subsidies. Earlier at market price, what were we excluding? Subsidies. Now we are including the subsidies. So you can say that NNP at factor cost equals NNP at market price minus indirect tax plus subsidies. मान लो, let's say NNP, this is an example, is 180 lakhs, indirect tax is 15 lakh, and let's say subsidies is 5 lakh. तो NNP ये मार्केट प्राइस पे है, ठीक है। तो एनएनपी एट फैक्टर कॉस्ट वुड बी 180 माइनस 15 प्लस 5 विच इक्वल्स 170 लाख। ओके, दैट वुड बी द एग्जांपल फॉर एनएनपी एट फैक्टर प्राइस। जो एनएनपी एट मार्केट प्राइस में आप माइनस एंड ऐड कर रहे थे, उसका उल्टा करना है एट फैक्टर कॉस्ट, दैट्स इट। So you can very clearly and very carefully you can say or deduce. So basically NNP at factor cost is also known as the national income. इसको हम national income भी बोलते हैं, which is the actual earning of the citizens. Please write it down. या मैं लिख देती हूँ वरना कहीं आप भूल ना जाओ. It is also known as the national income, the actual income of the citizens of India. Okay, and now we are going to start with national income accounting, the ways to calculate it and the limitations. National income accounting was one of those chapters in NCRT when I was in class 11th, which I and 12th, which I personally used to find very tough, क्योंकि उस वक्त टीचर्स इतने अच्छे से नहीं समझाते थे, वही rote learning was going on. But when I started studying and preparing for my chartered accountancy examinations, तब मैंने बहुत डिटेल में नेशनल इनकम अकाउंटिंग को पढ़ा एंड समझा, एंड इन यूपीएससी प्रिपरेशन अगेन डिटेल अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ दिस कॉन्सेप्ट हेल्प मी अंडरस्टैंड द वैल्यू ऑफ दिस चैप्टर. तो आई एम गोइंग टू मेक श्योर दैट यू डू नॉट रोट लर्न. आप थको नहीं, आप रोट लर्निंग नहीं करो, तो इसलिए आराम से 2 मिनट का ब्रेक ले सकते हो. यू कैन पॉज द वीडियो, यू कैन टेक 2 minutes ब्रेक and you can come back with a water bottle and start understanding with me. Okay, now when we talk about national income accounting, first important fact about national income accounting that you need to know is that it is a process. What is it? It is a process of measuring the overall economic activity. आपको रटना नहीं है, कुछ समझो, because if you are rote learning anything, then trust me, UPSC asks indirect questions. It is not going to ask more and more direct questions. कुछ direct questions होते हैं which are easy, but majority are indirectly asked to understand your analytical understanding. So it is a process of measuring the overall economic activity of a country, write it down, country. That is, what are the kinds of overall economic activity of a country? For example, how much income, how much production, how much spending happens in a nation. These are the economic activity of a country. Remember it for prelims. ये पूछे गए हैं questions. These questions have been asked. That is why I framed this definition. Happens in a nation or a country or an economy in a particular year. In a year. That is how you measure the economic activity. And this national income, it gives us different figures like GDP, यहीं से derive होता है, GNP, like NNP at factor cost. What is NNP at factor cost? National income. Like per capita income. Questions on per capita income have also been asked in prelims. PYQs उठाओगे आपको मिल जाएंगे, ठीक है. Now there are lot of methods of calculating national income in India, but basically there are three main methods which are used. First method is known as the production method. पहला मेथड होता है हमारा प्रोडक्शन मेथड. इट इज ऑल्सो नोन एज the output method. आप कुछ प्रोड्यूस कर रहे हो, that means you are producing an output. That is why it is also known as the output method. Okay, now what is the production method or output method? Write it down. It adds up the value of all final goods and services which are produced in the economy, and it also avoids double counting. That means only final goods, not intermediate goods are used in counting it. ठीक है, जो फाइनल गुड निकल कर आया है सिर्फ उसी को काउंट किया जाएगा. वट एवर इंटरमीडिएट गुड्स which have been used to produce that final goods, they will not be counted. So it is avoiding the double counting. Okay, तो इसका मतलब here GDP would be equal to, what will be the formula in production method? GDP would be equal to value of output minus, एक सेकंड मैं इसको इरेज कर देती हूँ, yes, minus value of intermediate consumption. तो इधर से हमको जीडीपी मिलेगा. फ्रॉम प्रोडक्शन मेथड विल गेट द जीडीपी, वैल्यू ऑफ आउटपुट, रिमूव द वैल्यू ऑफ इंटरमीडिएट कंजम्पशन एंड यू विल गेट द जीडीपी थ्रू प्रोडक्शन मेथड. ओके, मैं इसमें कीवर्ड्स अंडरलाइन कर देती हूँ. It avoids double counting. That means intermediate goods value is not counted here, and it adds up the value of all final goods and services produced in the country. Now, second method which we are going to study is the income method. So when we talk about income method, it basically is adding up all the incomes earned by people in the economy. What are the kinds of incomes that a person in the economy earns? Wages ke through, interest, profit, rent. These are the kind of incomes or kind of sources from which we earn income. So what can be the formula for income method? तो यहाँ से हमको मिलेगा national income. Write it down. It is national income. National income equals the wages plus the rent plus the interest plus the profit and mixed income जो होती है miscellaneous, उसको भी हम इसमें ले लेंगे. ठीक है. So that would be the formula for income method. National income is calculated in this manner. And then we have the expenditure method. All the spending on final goods and services will be calculated under expenditure method. अब इसमें क्या क्या होगा? What are the kind of spendings? Household spending हो जाती है, government spending, business purpose spending, spending by foreigners. That would be the expenditure method. Here we get the GDP. यहाँ से हमको GDP मिलता है. Consumption plus इन्वेस्टमेंट. आई फॉर इन्वेस्टमेंट. तो मैं शॉर्ट में लिख रही हूँ, आप भी शॉर्ट में लिख सकते हो. यू कैन राइट द फुल फॉर्म ऑल्सो. So GDP here would be equal to consumption plus investment plus government spending. G is government spending plus X minus M. What is X? Exports. What is M? Imports. इसको हम माइनस इसके नेट वर्जन को लेंगे, ऐड करेंगे. दैट्स हाउ वी गेट द जीडीपी ओवर हियर. Okay, so this is the national income accounting. यहाँ से national income we are taking from the income method. GDP we are taking from two methods, production method and expenditure method. But what is the limitation of national income? National income accounting की limitation क्या हो सकती है? First can be that you can see that housemaker जो होते हैं, in all the formulas that we used, housemakers or homemakers work was not included. Okay, it was not counted. It is productive. होम मेकर जो होती है आपकी मदर्स जो हैं, वो उनका काम भी तो प्रोडक्टिव है, बट इट इज नॉट काउंटेड. दैट इज वन लिमिटेशन. Then environmental damage is not counted. GDP is not subtracting pollution or resourcelessness या loss of resources. It is not being accounted anywhere. तो वो अकाउंटिंग नहीं हो रही है हमारी. ब्लैक इकोनॉमी एक्सक्लूड हो रही है. अनडिक्लेयर्ड इनकम को तो कहीं ले ही नहीं रहे हम. These are the limitation of national income accounting that you should remember. But how is it helping our government? It is helping our government in planning the budget, the taxes, framing the policies. इंटरनेशनल कंपैरिजन हो जाता है हमारा जीडीपी के मदद से. ग्रोथ डेवलपमेंट के पर्पस में उसको असेस करने के लिए वी आर यूजिंग नेशनल इनकम अकाउंटिंग. ओके, सो आई होप दैट नेशनल इनकम अकाउंटिंग प्लस द बेसिक टर्म्स आर क्लियर. एंड नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू क्रिएट अ टिक मार्क ओवर हियर. हमने मेथड्स भी पढ़ लिए, हमने लिमिटेशंस भी पढ़ लिया. सो बेसिक टर्म्स ऑफ नेशनल इनकम अकाउंटिंग इज नाउ क्लियर. Now we are going to move to inflation. Inflation is very important. तो इसको बहुत ध्यान से पढ़ना है. ठीक है, because yesterday we conducted a test on inflation and majority 99% students they scored less than 10 marks in inflation test. तो ये that means this is a weak part. So I'm going to make sure that it becomes your strength in economy. Now we are starting with inflation. When we talk about inflation, basically in simple terms it means price rise. उसी को तो इन्फ्लेशन बोलते हैं ना, जब प्राइस बढ़ जाता है ना. सो बेसिकली इट मीन्स द राइज इन द प्राइस ऑफ गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम. टुडे a certain good was 10 rupee for 10 rupees. Then after let's say 5 to 6 weeks or 1 month you went out to purchase that same product. That product costed you now 30 rupees. Then after a period of few weeks 50 rupees हो गया. तो वो इन्फ्लेशन हो रहा है, प्राइस इज इंक्रीजिंग. And what it does, it reduces the purchasing power. Yesterday you used 10 rupee to buy a particular product. Now those 10 rupees cannot buy the same product. Now because the product's price has increased, it is for 30 or 40 rupees now. तो आपके 10 rupees की तो purchasing power कम हो गई ना, है ना. So that means it has reduced the purchasing power of the same amount of money that you were using a certain week ago. ओके, अब वही 100 रुपए से कम चीजें आएंगी. नाउ देर आर डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ इन्फ्लेशन. लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड द टाइप्स ऑल्सो. So I'm going to create a table so that you can easily differentiate between different types of inflation. First type of inflation is known as the demand pull inflation. The second type of inflation is known as the cost push inflation. The third type is known as the built in inflation. Then we have the headline inflation. Then we have the core inflation. And I have seen students fumbling in headline and core inflation. तो आज हम इसको भी समझ लेंगे, डोंट वरी. डिमांड पुल इन्फ्लेशन का मतलब क्या है? दैट वी हैव टू मच मनी, इन सिंपल टर्म्स, टू मच मनी, not enough goods. That means demand, because of huge demand, the price of that particular good has increased. Why there is a huge demand? Because you have money, that is why you are demanding that product. Okay. Cost push inflation, it means cost of production has increased. Cost of production has increased. That means if cost of production is increasing, the person who is making that particular product or producing that product will increase the price of the product, because उसको तो महंगा पड़ रहा है ना बनाने में. He is finding it expensive to build that product. So because of cost of the factors of production, the cost push inflation comes. Built in inflation is the inflation when the workers demand more salary, because price is increasing or prices are rising, which further increases the prices. दैट इज बिल्ट इन इन्फ्लेशन. धीरे धीरे बिल्ट इन हो रहा है, सैलरी ज़्यादा देनी पड़ रही है आपको अपने वर्कर्स को, तो आप प्रोडक्ट का कॉस्ट भी बढ़ाओगे ही बढ़ाओगे, कहीं से तो वसूलोगे ना, इफ यू आर मेकिंग द प्रोडक्ट. देन वी हैव द हेडलाइन इन्फ्लेशन. हेडलाइन इन्फ्लेशन बेसिकली मीन्स इन्फ्लेशन इंक्लूडिंग ऑल फूड आइटम्स, फ्यूल एटसेट्रा, ऑल द आइटम्स, सबके प्राइस राइज को मिला लोगे आप, हेडलाइन इन्फ्लेशन. And what is core inflation? Inflation excluding food and fuel, because they are too valuable. उनको अगर हटा दो तो we get the core inflation. Okay. So that is the basic definition or understanding of these types of inflation. Now I'm going to support them with the help of examples. When we talk about demand pull inflation, example would be that more people want houses, but few houses are available. कुछ ही घर अवेलेबल हैं, तो इससे क्या होगा? प्राइस इंक्रीज होगा. देन कॉस्ट पुश इन्फ्लेशन का एग्जाम्पल क्या होगा? दैट ऑयल प्राइसेस आर राइजिंग. इससे क्या होगा? व्हाट विल हैपन? द ट्रांसपोर्ट कॉस्ट विल इंक्रीज. व्हाट विल हैपन? ऑल गुड्स will become costlier, because goods are transported, becomes costlier. That is cost push inflation. What can be the example of built in inflation? Salary hikes. Salary hikes leads to more spending. आपकी सैलरी बढ़ेगी तो आप खर्चे भी ज़्यादा करोगे, right? If your salary is increasing, you will spend more, and it leads to price rise again. There's a cycle which is going on. Everything is dependent and interconnected and interlinked. देन हेडलाइन इन्फ्लेशन का एग्जाम्पल क्या होगा? हेडलाइन इन्फ्लेशन, व्हाट यू रेगुलरली सी इन न्यूज की प्राइस, पेट्रोल का प्राइस बढ़ गया, फूड आइटम्स, टमाटर का प्राइस बढ़ गया. ठीक है. सो व्हाट यू सी इन द न्यूज रिपोर्ट्स, दैट इज द हेडलाइन इन्फ्लेशन. व्हाट यू रीड इन द न्यूज़पेपर, दैट इज द हेडलाइन इन्फ्लेशन. ओके. एंड कोर इन्फ्लेशन इज, इट शोज द लॉन्ग टर्म इन्फ्लेशन ट्रेंड. दैट इज द कोर इन्फ्लेशन. Now, what can be the causes of inflation then? अगर हम इसको summarize करें, I'll change the ink over here. Yes. So what can be the causes of inflation? Journal causes क्या होते हैं inflation के? When higher demand is there, demand pull inflation जिसको हम कहते हैं. When higher costs are there, which is known as cost push inflation. When excess money supply is there in the economy, more money you are having, so spending will be more, price rise होगा. देन ग्लोबल प्राइस राइज अगर होता है, क्रूड ऑयल का प्राइस बढ़ गया, राइट, ग्लोबल प्राइस राइज कर देते हैं इसको, ठीक है, राइज. देन सप्लाई शॉर्टेज, एस एस मीन सप्लाई शॉर्टेज. ड्राउट अगर होगा तो खाना कम होगा, राइट, अगेन डिमांड बढ़ जाएगी, तो सप्लाई शॉर्टेज हो गया. सो दीज आर द कॉजेज ऑफ इन्फ्लेशन. व्हाट कैन बी द impact of inflation then? Fixed incomes cannot keep up with the rising prices, that will be the negative impact. देन उसके बाद होगा क्या? इफ इन्फ्लेशन इज टू हाई, इट कैन डिसरप्ट प्लानिंग ऑल्सो इन द इकोनॉमी. टैक्सेस लाइक जीएसटी जो है वो बढ़ जाएंगे, प्राइस राइज होगा तो जीएसटी भी ज्यादा देना पड़ेगा। दीज आर द नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट्स ऑफ इन्फ्लेशन ऑल्सो। ठीक है। तो अगर हम इन अ नटशेल कोर इन्फ्लेशन को नटशेल में समराइज करें, बिकॉज कोर इन्फ्लेशन हैज बीन आस्क्ड टाइम एंड अगेन बाय यूपीएससी, सो हियर इट मीन्स excess food and fuel, it becomes too unstable. It tells us the real underlying inflation trend, and it is used by, write it down, it is used by RBI to make monetary policy. That is why core inflation is important. Long term inflation trend dikhata hai na, to RBI uses core inflation to make the monetary policies, like changing in repo rate. Why repo rate is changed? Because they are monitoring the core inflation. So far we have completed basic terms, national income accounting, inflation भी हमने अच्छे से complete कर लिया. Now we are starting with monetary policy. This is going to be the next important topic. When we talk about monetary policy and fiscal policy, these are the two topics which are UPSC's favorite. Every year questions are repeated. So this marathon session will be conducted in two parts. First part we'll be covering Indian economy static and conceptual base, and in the second part, what are we going to do? I'm going to show you. In the second part, the dynamic and current affairs based part of Indian economy will be covered. Economic survey, budget, unemployment, poverty estimates, external sector, agriculture, economy, infrastructure, ये सब आपका पार्ट टू में कवर होगा. ठीक है. सो दैट्स हाउ यू कैन बिल्ड अप योर बेस. अब एक ही क्लास में अगर दोनों ही चीजें मैं करवा दूंगी, करंट अफेयर्स ऑल्सो एंड स्टैटिक ऑल्सो, यू विल गेट कंफ्यूज्ड. आई डोंट वांट दैट टू हैपन. सो पार्ट वन स्टैटिक, पार्ट टू करंट. ओके, चलो लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड. कम इंडियन इकोनॉमी आपका पूरा अच्छे से कंप्लीट होगा, डोंट वरी. When we talk about monetary policy, what exactly is monetary policy? It is basically, write it down, the policy which is used by RBI to do what? To control, to control the money supply. After this class, there will be a short test on a Telegram community also. 1 hour after this class, the notes will be shared, the test will be shared. So make sure you join our Telegram community. Okay, to control the money supply. Okay, and to also control, write it down, to control the interest rates, to control growth, ultimately, not control, we can say to manage. तो इसको एक अलग एरो में बना देती हूँ. To ultimately manage inflation. Second, to manage the growth. Third, to manage employment. Every concept in economy is interconnected. चाहे वो national income हो, GDP, GNP हो, whether it is inflation, growth, employment, poverty, etc., everything is interconnected. That is why economy has to be studied in a very, very serious manner. एक एक definition को रट नहीं सकते हो आप. You have to understand. Now, what is the goal of monetary policy? इसका goal क्या होता है? The goal is to keep inflation stable. To keep inflation stable, to keep the economy growing, to keep the economy growing. Okay, and to keep the rupee value steady. That is the ultimate goal of monetary policy in an economy. That is why monetary policies are created. And who makes it? RBI, which is the central bank. RBI monetary policy banata hai because it controls the monetary policy through a very special committee. We'll study about monetary policy committee also. But what is the objective of having this monetary policy? इसका objective क्या रहता है? RBI का ना एक fixed target होता है. There is a fixed target of RBI, which is to keep the inflation rate at 4%. It can be plus or it can be minus 2%. ठीक है, पॉइंट क्लियर हो गया यहाँ तक सभी को? So it must stay between 2 to 6%. This is also known as, write it down, flexible inflation targeting. इसी को बोलते हैं flexible inflation targeting. And for that, RBI uses some monetary policy tools. There were many students yesterday in the class who were asking about what is monetary policy tools. Right? Tool क्या होता है? Those tools are used to keep all of this into perspective. ये जो हम goals और objectives की बात कर रहे हैं, इसको कैसे fulfill किया जाता है? Through tools only. So there are different tools. For example, we have repo rate. Okay, we have reverse repo rate. Okay, then we have cash reserve ratio, then we have statutory liquidity ratio, and these are not new terms to you, because if you are reading the newspaper, took the decision of preparing for UPSC, you must have started with the newspapers. And in newspaper, whether it is the Hindu or Indian Express, every day these terms are used. Okay, then open market operation, and on each of these terms questions have been framed in prelims. इस इन हर टर्म्स के ऊपर क्वेश्चन पूछे गए हैं. देन वी हैव मार्जिनल standing facility. Marginal standing facility, these are the monetary policy terms which are used, the monetary policy tools which RBI uses. Okay, repo rate, reverse repo rate, cash reserve ratio, statutory liquidity ratio, OMO and MSF. Now what exactly is repo rate, reverse repo rate? ये क्या है? इसका एक टेबल बना के we are going to study. Okay, so we have created a table for all of you. Now let's start one by one. When we talk about repo rate, what exactly is repo rate? It is the rate on which RBI is lending money to banks. Lending to banks. Banks को lend हो रहा है. कौन कर रहा है? RBI कर रहा है. RBI is lending to banks. So the rate at which the money is lended to bank is repo rate. If we have to give a simple explanation of repo rate, if let's say repo rate increases, what will happen? RBI, I am RBI, you are the bank. I am lending you money at a specific rate. If I increase the rate, repo rate बढ़ गया, तो loans will get costlier. Loans will become costlier. ठीक है? That will discourage the banks to take the loans. Money supply कम होगा. It will control inflation, because we have understood inflation, how money supply is also impacting inflation, है ना? समझ गए बात? So if yesterday you studied about something about repo rate increment or decrement, you can relate it with inflation. This is how UPSC asks questions. What can be the impact of increasing or decreasing repo rate on inflation? Then let's say next is RRR, reverse repo rate. It is the rate at which RBI is borrowing money from banks. अब उल्टा हो रहा है, vice versa हो रहा है. So if reverse repo rate increases, what will happen? Write it down, equals to banks park more money, है ना? Because RBI is borrowing ना from banks, तो banks will store more money. अगर reverse repo rate बढ़ रहा है, that means less circulation of money. Again, inflation is getting controlled by reverse repo rate. Now what is CRR? CRR था अपना cash reserve ratio, which means the percentage of deposit banks should keep with RBI. RBI के पास रखना है. For example, you are a child and your parents is RBI. You are banks, you are children, right? So the percentage of deposit, whatever pocket money or whatever money you are getting from your relatives, certain percentage of that deposit you have to keep with your parents, with RBI, so that बाद में कभी जरूरत पड़े तो आप ले सको. So percentage of deposit banks must keep with RBI is CRR. So if CRR increases, what will happen? Banks will lend less, which means money supply reduces. Again, inflation is controlled through it. Then we have SLR, statutory liquidity ratio, percentage of deposit banks must keep in liquid asset. For example, आप अपने पास सारा पैसा तो बैंक में नहीं रखते हो ना. Some money you keep in cash, liquid. अब आप ऑटो से ट्रैवल कर रहे हो, you are not traveling without cash money. Yes, you have UPI, but what if the ऑटो वाला भैया does not have UPI, right? He would say नहीं, मुझे तो कैश चाहिए. तो आपके पास कैश होना चाहिए, लिक्विड होना चाहिए. इफ कोई हेल्थ इमरजेंसी आ गई, आपके पास कैश होना चाहिए, है ना? So here write it down, it controls banks lending capacity. Then we have open market operation. RBI buys or sells the government securities, right? If RBI buys the government securities, that means it is injecting money in the economy, right? क्योंकि खरीद रही है ना गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटी, पैसा दे रही है, मनी इंजेक्ट कर रही है इकोनॉमी में. If it sells government securities, then it is absorbing money from the economy. Then we have marginal standing facility, emergency overnight loan, which is provided to banks. So here it is higher than repo rate. So it is basically the last resort that that RBI uses to manage inflation. Okay, so keeping all of this into account, we have understood that basically there are two types of monetary policy. तो types क्या होती है monetary policy के? First is expansionary monetary policy. Second is known as contractionary monetary policy. What is expansionary? Here money supply is increased, तो increased money supply. ठीक है, कब यूज होता है ये? ड्यूरिंग स्लो डाउन और रिसेशन इन द इकोनॉमी एक्सपेंशनरी पॉलिसीज आर यूज्ड. कॉन्ट्रैक्शनरी पॉलिसी, इट रिड्यूसेस मनी सप्लाई. सो ड्यूरिंग हाई इन्फ्लेशन गवर्नमेंट आरबीआई विल यूज कॉन्ट्रैक्शनरी मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी. ओके, तो एक सिंपल ना मैं टेबल बनाती हूँ. आई विल क्रिएट अ सिंपल टेबल and I hope that you will also create the table with me. So basically, if let's say inflation is high, ठीक है? So what will happen? Here RBI will increase the repo rate if inflation is high, which in turn will make loans costlier. Loans costlier हो जाएंगे, which in turn will result into people and businesses will borrow less money, which in turn will equal to less spending, which will result into price fall. Please make this box. इस box को बना लो फटाफट से. ठीक है, questions have been asked, that is why I am making this box. इसमें से questions आए हैं. ठीक है, this is the impact if inflation is high. Let's say if economy is slowing down, what will happen? Here RBI will reduce the repo rate. इससे क्या होगा? Loans will becomes cheaper. What will happen then? More borrowing and spending, and what will happen? This will boost the demand and jobs. This will be the impact if economy is slowing down. अगर economy slow down कर रही है. Please make this box. This is very important. अगर आपने ये बॉक्स समझ लिया, then most of the PYQs on monetary policy, inflation, etc. will be very easily solved by you. Okay, so we have completed monetary policy tools also. अब यहाँ पर हमारे पास एक और टॉपिक रहता है विच इज फिस्कल पॉलिसी. वी हैव रोल ऑफ आरबीआई, टूल्स, इन्फ्लेशन एंड टारगेटिंग कर लिया हमने. फिस्कल पॉलिसी वील स्टडी इन पार्ट 2 बिकॉज इट हैज बजट इन इंडिया. फिस्कल पॉलिसी में बजट भी आ जाता है, सो दैट विल बी अ करंट एस्पेक्ट हो जाएगा इकोनॉमी का. सो वील कवर इट इन द नेक्स्ट पार्ट ऑफ द मैराथन. ओके, सो प्लीज लेट मी नो, डिड यू एंजॉय दिस मैराथन सेशन पार्ट 1? ये मुझे जरूर बताना, बिकॉज इफ यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू गिव मी द फीडबैक, आई विल नॉट प्रिपेयर मैराथन पार्ट 2. I want feedback. I want how well you understood the important concepts and topics. Only then the second part will be shared. Okay. So I'll be waiting for all of your comments in the comment section.